Hello everyone, it's Lighthouse Angel here. Welcome, welcome. Thanks for joining me here on your Tuesday. I hope you're having a great start to your day. I went ahead and already got the overall energy for the reading today. And I have a short story to tell you about something interesting that happened to me today. I'm going to get some messages from the compass box. I'm also going to clarify it with one or two cards. And if you're new to my channel, welcome, welcome. Thanks for joining my channel here. On this channel, we focus on taking you from zero to hero in your own life, giving you the tools and information that you need to grow and expand, get unstuck, and aligned with the best version of yourself, and always, always keeping the divine number one, okay? So I wanted to tell you a little something that happened to me today. I love to share like the magic and miracles that happen throughout my day, just to give you that hope and clarity that, you know, the impossible does happen. So it was about a month ago that I ordered these new iPods, Apple iPods, and I had them in my car. I was sitting in the front seat, and I was going to put them in my ear, and one of them fell out of my hand in between the console and my chair, you know, my front seat. And it fell down there. You know, we all have things that fall down. You just move the seat, right, and get it. Well, I went down to get it, and it wasn't there. It was like fell in this abyss, completely gone, nowhere. I spent, I don't know, 20, 30 minutes trying to find this thing. I could not find it. So I took it as a sign that the divine is trying to remove distractions from my ear. So I have been going a whole month without any earpods, and I've actually really enjoyed it, and it's given me a lot of clarity, and just it's changed a lot of things, eliminating that distraction. So fast forward, today I am in my car. I go to get a power bar. I'm going on a hike, so I go to get a power bar, and I break it in half, thinking I'm going to eat half of it now and then half of it later in the hike. So I broke it in half, and then this piece, the half, broke off and then fell in between my seat again. And I said out loud, I go, I bet you the divine is showing me where my earbud is. So I get down, look underneath. I can't find this piece of my power bar. Finally, I was able to move the seat enough to where I could find it. And it was in this like hole underneath the carpet that's kind of drops down into where the you know, the frame of the car is, right? So I stick my hand in there, and lo and behold, there is my earbud. So it was just interesting that, you know, the power bar led me to where my earbud was. And I said, I know you're going to show me at some point where it is. And today was the day. So I just wanted to share that with you. You never know where God is leading you and what miracles can happen in your life. Okay. So let's get started. Now, the overall energy that we got here is, I live free from outside expectations. It says, when we ignore our needs and desires to please others, we can find ourselves living someone else's idea of a perfect life. As a result, we might feel unfulfilled or dissatisfied. That's why it's crucial to take time to get to know ourselves. Imagine how it would feel to pursue your passions or interests. What is one step you can take towards making any of these choices a reality? Okay. So, do you feel like you're living someone else's expectations or living through someone else's expectations, right? Are you ignoring your needs and desires to please others? I feel like the divine is saying it's time to get to know yourself and what those passions and interests are that drive you. Because if you don't step into those or feed those, right, you may feel unfulfilled or dissatisfied. That's also where, when you release control of pleasing others and invest that time and energy into yourself, right? Getting to know yourself, knowing what drives you, what your soul, right? It leads you to your purpose here. So I feel like divine is really coming in saying you need to live free from other people's expectations or the energy of pleasing others, right? What their idea of what you should be doing or their idea of what a perfect life should look like, okay? Because living through someone else's expectations or someone else's ideas, right, isn't going to lead you to a life of fulfillment, a life of passion. Because never compare your life to someone else's, because we all are on our own journeys, specifically to you. So, people who are trying to become or trying to be like someone else's or have the same idea of what success looks like is just focusing on someone else's journey instead of focusing on yours, because yours is unique to yourself, right? God has given you a unique set of skills and talents, right? That aren't in the form of people pleasing. They're meant to fill your soul and drive your passion to your purpose. That's what I'm hearing. Okay? And then we have a time to remember. It's number 1. It says, look back on your childhood. Okay, so there might be something in your childhood that I just heard, turned your back on. Okay? That maybe you put it on the shelf, put it like, well, maybe later, or maybe you turned your back on it indefinitely thinking, well, that'll never happen again, right? It's time to embrace it. If it gave you passion and it drives you, you need to make choices to bringing that back into your reality, okay? Because it's going to lead you to a life of personal satisfaction, right? Feeding your purpose, feeding what drives you. And then it says, the past is behind you now. So drop the fears and doubts. Even though you may feel a little uncomfortable at the moment and slightly anxious over what's coming next, you are being urged to bring yourself back to the present moment. Your recent prayers have been heard and are currently being worked on. Okay. So the divine's coming in is, if you're looking in the rearview mirror, right? If you continue to be looking in the past, just know that cycle is over. Okay? So you need to drop any fears or doubts about it resurfacing or walking back in or doors being open, right? I feel like you've learned all the lessons. The divine says you're ready to move forward. They've heard your prayers and they're being worked on here. But you need to embrace living in the moment and taking this time to remember something back in your childhood that maybe was a passion or a hobby or an interest, and focusing on that vision, maybe taking choices to leading you back in that direction. Maybe you've been in a cycle of people pleasing, maybe through your career, through your free time, right? Trying to live someone else's dream or idea of what life should look like, right? Take your power back and release yourself from those expectations, okay? Because those are all expectations that you put on yourself. Not, from what you think other people are expecting out of you, right? It's time to release yourself from living in the shadows of someone else's idea of happiness, right? Stepping in your truth, authenticity, embracing your talents, and putting them in the spotlight to shine, to show what drives you. Okay, that's what I'm getting. All right, so let's get another card, and then we'll get some messages from, and maybe it was something you turned your back on in the past. Okay, thinking, well, you don't see it resurfacing, or you don't see, maybe it was limited to resources, or maybe limited to having support, right? Maybe you were trying to survive through a situation, right? And you just kind of had to turn your back on it, right? The divine really wants you to take a look at it, okay? Because it has importance. That's what I'm hearing. It has importance. Maybe because I see number 1 here. Maybe this is the one thing you wished for when you were younger, but then life got in the way. And yesterday I talked about thinking outside of the box, right? And that box can be the experiences and expectations of everything that we put on ourselves by pleasing others, our past experiences that we've had with people, jobs, family, everything, right? And we assume when we're talking about moving forward that it's just going to be a different version of that. And the divine is saying, no, you need to free yourself of these expectations and be open to believing in something different, right? Believing in the impossible here that came in yesterday. Okay. Find your haven, number 13 or number 4, that could be significant. There is a place of wonder waiting just for you. Okay. And there's like this pathway to, it looks like a castle on the water, okay? So I'm feeling like as you're waiting, right? Waiting for the divine to guide you, right? Getting to know what drives you here in this. You might be in a wait season or a season of self-reflection, right? Getting to understand what drives you in your passions. You could be investing in creative projects, right? Knowing and releasing the past, knowing it's behind you here. Not quite sure where you're going next. Taking the time to remember when you were a child and what drove you, a time that you had something that you were passionate about. I just heard lit you up. Something in your childhood that lit you up. It may be coming back around, okay? And you may be going to a new destination, a new place of wonder that's just waiting for you. Okay. That's what I'm getting with that. And this new destination may lead you back to it, it's going to offer an opportunity of back to a time when you remembered something you enjoyed as a child. Okay? Or, this is the other energy I'm getting, is that this new season that you're going in, this new chapter, it's going to have childlike energy. It's going to be full of fun, laughter, maybe childhood experiences. You may feel like you have the energy that you had when you were a child as well. I'm getting that as well. And this is all coming in, by freeing yourself from other people's expectations here, right? No longer people pleasing or living in the idea of someone else's perfect life, right? It's leading you to your haven here. All right, let's get some more messages from the compass box here. I'm also hearing it's leading you to your soul tribe. Okay. So if you've been in a season of isolation, right? And investing in yourself, right? Allowing God to speak to you and give you clarity about yourself, your passions, no longer people pleasing here, letting go of the past, right? Maybe you're reflecting on a time in a childhood where you were really passionate about something, right? This may be coming back around in a place of wonder that's waiting for you. And it's going to bring in your new soul tribe. That's what I'm getting. Or where you're going next is leading to your new soul tribe. Okay. Let's see here. Fear not, little flock, for it is your Father's good pleasure to give you the kingdom. And that's kind of interesting. It kind of feels like this kingdom, like this castle is huge. I can only see a little piece of it, right? This is Luke 12:32. But I feel like the divine is saying, fear not, right? He's leading you to your kingdom, this place of wonder here, right? Allowing you to live outside other people's expectations, right? Stepping into this energy of pursuing your passions and interests here, right? Maybe back to a time in your childhood where you remembered being really happy, but life got in the way, right? That could be circling back around, or something that you prayed for as well. What you think you become, what you feel you attract, what you imagine you create. I think this came up in yesterday's reading. But this is, okay, so this time that you remember in your childhood, right? Even this place of wonder or that's waiting for you here, that is going to feel like the divine's leading to you. This is your kingdom, your soul tribe, your new beginning I'm getting here. That you may have manifested this by your thoughts, your feelings, and your vision here. That's what I'm getting with that, right? But freeing yourself from other people's expectations and focusing on what drives you and what you envisioned for yourself, right? Not what society was telling you, or what other people identify as the perfect life, right? You stepped into your truth, right? Walking in that, in your authenticity, in that high energy, high frequency of what drives you here. And sometimes we just need to reflect back into a time where we were really happy, right? And reflect on, bringing that back into our life. If that was a creative passion that you had, that you put on the shelf, right? Now's the time to get it back out and embrace your talents, right? Your God-given talents in that. When you haven't forgiven those who've hurt you, you turn back against your future. When you do forgive, you start walking forward. Okay. Yeah. So you may need to take action and forgive. Now, forgiveness is about you. It's not about them. Okay, you don't need them in your life to forgive them, right? But it is the block that will keep you from moving forward, right? And sometimes forgiving and releasing with love is the better option, right? Because, you know, if they are unhealed, right, then they're just going to be dimming your light, right? Lowering you, pulling your energy down to a lower vibration when you're trying to elevate, when you're trying to heal, you're trying to grow and expand and seek that higher, better version of yourself, right? You still need to forgive them and release them out of love because you don't want it to stop you from walking forward here, okay? You can't hold on to the pain of the past, right? And from keeping you from moving forward, okay? You've got to release it, okay? And part of forgiving is healing, right? Healing the wounds that were caused by the person or the situation, right? Taking ownership of if there's any part in which you need to take ownership, or looking at the situation on, okay, what was this meant to teach me? How can I grow through this? How can I grow, apply this to my life, alchemize this situation into power to push me forward, right? We have the star. Okay. The star represents healing. Okay, so you could be on a healing journey, or you could, we're all in different timelines. You could be on a beginning your healing journey, or you could be well into your healing journey. But also, a star is your wishes coming true here. It says, your prayers are being answered. You also could be stepping in the spotlight as well with being the star here, right? Freeing yourself from other expectations and allowing yourself to step in your own light here. That's what I'm getting with that as well. It is always someone else's fault. This is the gaslighter's mantra. Okay. So this might be something that you've been healing from. You may have, and this may also be this person that you need to forgive that was gaslighting you, blaming, telling you that everything was always your fault, making you question your reality. Okay? When we can step away from the situation, all right, step away from the person, we can see the truth of who you are, the clarity of the situation, right? Getting back to the real you, not a distorted version from somebody who is trying to gaslight you, okay? And somebody who's trying to gaslight you, they're trying to keep you stuck, right? Not seeing the true power that's within you in rising to that higher level, rising to the top, right? Being the star here. Shining that light of yours. Stepping into this creative vision that you had for yourself of what your future was going to be like, or, right? Don't let other people make you think that a situation is your fault, right? That's just them projecting onto you, right? Making it, trying to dim your light, okay? Make sure you hold on to those boundaries, right? Not allowing people and energies like this to get into your your circle, right? Because people who are gaslighting, right, don't want to take responsibility of looking in the mirror and seeing what they see, right? So instead, they want to project it on you. They don't want to take responsibility of what they caused here. So instead, they want to project it on you and have you carry that burden, okay? That's not your job, okay? You are a bright light. Don't allow people to dim it because they don't want to take responsibility of their own truth. That's what I'm hearing. But you need to forgive and release this person, okay? All right. We have the letter V, okay? Now, what these letters, take it how it resonates with you because it's going to resonate different with everyone. But you're going to know as soon as this comes out what it means for you. But I'm getting victory or vision, okay? But we're going to keep going and see if we get more information on that. Do more of what makes you happy. Yeah. This could be like, I'm also getting like, you're the star here. You're going to have a victory, okay? Or you've gone through this healing journey and you have a vision of something, you know, of what you imagined for your life here. Freeing yourself of other people's expectations, okay? Doing more of what you love, not being in this people-pleasing energy, right? Freeing yourself from that. No longer allowing yourself to carry other people's burdens that they don't want to carry and they're projecting them on you here, right? By doing so, you're going to have a victory in your life and it's going to align with your vision, okay, of what you had for yourself here. Yeah. We have the 10 of Swords. Okay, this is a painful cycle of your past that has come to an end. Okay, so if you needed clarity of that is behind you. You're getting ready to walk into a time when you remembered when you were a child that's leading you to this place of wonder here, and it's going to be a victory. It's also going to be part of what you envision for yourself. And the divine is leading you back to a time or to a place where you are going to be focusing on what makes you happy. And this cycle of pain from maybe people who gaslight you, or, you know, all these swords are in the back of this person. It's like people who backstabbed you. These are all the lessons that you had to learn from the past, where you had to get up, rise up, and turn that pain into power. Okay, maybe this was through people pleasing. Okay, since we talked about that. That cycle is over, okay? And because you chose yourself, right? Living free from other people's expectations, you're walking into your vision here of the dream that you had for yourself, right? And what makes you happy here. So I have the 10 of Wands here. This is definitely the end of a cycle here. The past cycle may have been required you to carry a lot of burdens for others, maybe even through people pleasing. Okay, that cycle is over. The divine is ready. The cycle of getting backstabbed, hard karmic lessons, carrying a lot of burdens for others, maybe who then stabbed you, right? That cycle is over, okay? The divine is urging you to put those heavy burdens down, right? And these burdens can be that you were carrying is other people's expectations of you, right? I'm hearing their requirements of you. Okay, that cycle is over. Yeah, because you have the 10 of Pentacles here. The cycle of being stabbed in the back by people. I'm hearing people you gave your love to here. Okay, by carrying these burdens. You know, maybe it was through people pleasing. Maybe it was living through other people's expectations, right? That's all coming to end because you're stepping into this. What was it want to come off my hand? You're stepping into this 10 of Pentacles here. This is having all the things. This is your place of wonder, right? Being able to maybe turn around and embrace something in your childhood that you enjoyed here. Right? This is your new chapter, okay? It may be putting you in the spotlight here as well. But I'm hearing this is your happiness season. I'm also getting with this is that this gaslighting, okay? Somebody may have projected fault onto you, right? But meanwhile, you were carrying all these burdens and they were putting these swords in your back, right? To make like it was all your fault when it wasn't, right? Just take that if that resonates, okay? But you're coming into a happy season here. You have the Star, which is having, wishes coming true as well. But, this also could be, a star supporting your projects or your vision or, or you're a healer that, a healer for others, or you've been on a healing path that's leading to your 10 of Pentacles here. After carrying a heavy chapter of burdens and pain from others that may have gaslit you or projected onto you. Okay. Now you're vibing and thriving. That's what this V could be here. You're vibing, right? Now you're in this, you're dropping those burdens. The cycle of pain is over, right? You've done this healing, and now you're in this receiving mode, releasing yourself from any outside expectations, focusing on your vision, right? Your manifestations here. And now you're vibing and thriving. You're not in this dark, heavy burden of pain, expectations, people pleasing, backstabbers, right? Gaslighters, right? So I'm hearing so they can step in the spotlight. So take that how that resonates. I feel like someone was projecting fault on you when it was their own. Queen of Cups. Yeah, because you're this Queen of Cups here. You're full of love and light. You have spiritual gifts here. And as the Queen of Cups, she operates out of the heart space. You could be an empath, right? And that can be, if you don't know your boundaries, you don't know your worth and value, people can take advantage of that, of your kindness. They may see it as weakness. That could be these lessons, these swords that you learn in your back here. People who took advantage of you, seeing your kindness as a weakness, right? Because you bring this high vibrational energy of love, unconditional love, right? Being an empath. And that's why I'm hearing that's why you were a threat in this situation. Take that how that resonates, okay? That's what I just heard. That's why you were a threat in this situation. Okay? But keep staying in this energy of love, right? I feel like I'm speaking to someone who didn't allow these heavy burdens and this pain of the past and this gaslighting, right, to keep you stuck, right? You got back up, you're back in this chair, right? Operating out of this unconditional love and focusing on feeding what makes you happy now, right? Releasing yourself from these outside expectations or pleasing others. Start your day with happiness and gratitude. Yeah, that's what's creating this vibing and thriving energy, right? You're starting your day with happiness and gratitude, right? And it's bringing in this happier you, this high vibrational you. And I've said this many times. It's gratitude is a game changer. I just heard game changer. So you need to, if you aren't already doing it, start your day off with a prayer of gratitude every day about everything that you have in your life that you're grateful for. I mean, everybody has something to be grateful for that's currently going on in their life. Where you're living, where you live, you're just your vehicle, I mean, everything to be grateful for, right? But also being grateful for everything that's on its way to you, okay? The blessings that the divine is ready to deliver through these answered prayers here, okay? Because it's taking, I'm feeling like, there's the star here. There's these 8 other stars. It's like all these wishes coming in for you. Right? Chill pills. Okay. Right? So maybe you need to chill out about a situation here, or you're going to need to chill out about a situation here. Okay. And what I'm also getting, because it's really matching this vibing and thriving, it's like, you are in this chilled energy, right? Of just vibing and thriving on this freeing yourself of expectations, releasing these heavy burdens, and this cycle of pain has freed you up to be in this chill energy, right? With this energy of being grateful and happy. And it's keeping, it's keeping your alignment. Okay? It says, Jesus loves you. Okay? Yeah. Jesus is leading this path for you. Okay? He loves your heart. That's what I'm hearing. He loves your heart. And he's getting ready to bless you here, okay? Because you chose the higher road here. You chose to release the past burdens of I'm hearing responsibility, right? And this cycle of pain where maybe you were backstabbed or taken advantage of, right? That you had to continuously get up from, right? Because you gave your heart to others. And, it could have been in a job. It could have been in a relationships. It could have been in friendships. Take it how it resonates, right? But you know the value of that love now, right? Through this healing journey. And now it's leading you to your wishes. And now you're going to be able to focus on what makes you happy now, okay? Releasing yourself from making others happy, right? When they need to get that for themselves, okay? And, Jesus is coming in to remind you that he loves you, right? And keep looking up. Keep staying in that energy of gratitude, right? Keeping that high vibrational energy and the energy of love, because it's bringing in your manifestations here, okay? And Jesus is walking with you, protecting you, guiding you here, Okay? All right, so I'm going to get a couple of miracle mantras to close this out, and I'm going to get you a sunflower, a positive sunflower as well. So if you felt like you've been in a tunnel, you're getting ready to step into the light here, okay? I release control and allow magic to unfold here. Yeah, this is you're walking into your magical season, okay? You've learned all the lessons when it comes to being this Queen of Cups. Now you could be a Pisces, Scorpio, or Cancer. Doesn't have to be, but you're in this energy of love, right? Carrying this big, beautiful heart, right? Giving that love to others. And maybe it got taken advantage of in the past, right? But now that past is behind you now. And now the divine's saying, release control and allow the magic to unfold here. The magic of all your blessings, all your wishes, your maybe a time in the past that you really enjoyed, right? Because now it's time for you to be happy. Okay? It's time for your prayers to be answered. But keep in this energy of gratitude, right? Okay. I'm also getting like this, I feel like you're in a chill energy, like you're chilling and focusing on what makes you happy right now, okay? And stay and focus on keeping your alignment. But I'm also getting like maybe there's something that you need to cut back on. That's what I'm getting. Maybe there's something you need to cut back on that's going to allow you to relax more, okay? Maybe you've had problems sleeping, or maybe because it talks about anxiety in here, maybe you've been dealing with anxiety, okay? It may be something you're consuming or something that you're taking or doing, okay? You might need to cut back on, okay? Love flows easily to and through me. Okay. Yeah, and I'm really getting like your soul tribe, like it's like I'm feeling, I just heard your family, your soul tribe, could be your person. This person could be the star here, your wish, bringing you, everything you wished for to you as well. But as this Queen of Cups, that's what you represent. You represent the energy of love flowing through you, right? To and through you. I trust that all is happening for my highest good. Yeah. Yeah. The divine is taking you where you belong. That's what I just heard. Where you belong. Okay? And everything that's happening for you is for your highest good. So if there is a door that's going to be closing, right? Maybe you thought it was going to look a certain way, right? Just know that everything's happening for the highest good here. Okay? So allow the magic to unfold, release control, and allow that energy of love to flow through you and to you, right? And keep that high vibration, right? Stay in that energy of gratitude, okay? Because Jesus is leading you here, okay? He sees your heart, he sees your pain, and he sees the effort that you're putting into yourself by freeing yourself from these expectations of others, okay? Okay? And I'm really seeing it connected, the color here, to this card. So somebody of the past may have blamed you for something, right? Maybe it's because you freed yourself from a situation, but in reality, it was theirs. Okay? But that cycle is closed. That's what I'm getting. So take that if that resonates. All right. I'm going to get you a sunflower. Number 12. So take that if that resonates. I naturally attract positivity, peace, and good fortune. Yeah, that's what you're doing here. That's what you're doing in this high vibrational energy here. Okay? You're going into this new season of positivity, peace, and good fortune. That's why the divine wants you to release control here and allow the magic to unfold. Okay? And love, I'm just hearing love is walking in. Okay, so I don't know. Love could be walking into your life here. Right? And it's going to take you to a time where you remember your life being really happy, right? Pursuing your passions and the things that you loved. Because I feel like your past was all about pleasing others, like living the idea of what other people defined as the perfect life here. Okay? Now it's time for your season of pursuing what makes you happy, right? And instead of providing all the happiness for others, it's your turn, right? Your turn to be in this energy and new cycle and new season of positivity, peace, and good fortune. Because that's what you're worthy and deserving of. Because you've healed through this cycle of carrying this heavy burdens and all this pain of being, I'm just hearing backstabbers, right? You know, when you were just offering your love here, okay? Right? So that cycle is over. You know your worth and value. You know who you should be giving that to, right? Holding those boundaries, right? Knowing the value and worth of what your energy, your light, and your vibration is, so that you will attract what's for you, right? Okay. That's what I have for you today. I hope it's resonated with you. If not, please check back tomorrow. I do daily readings Monday through Friday. But until then, do something to celebrate yourself today. You've come a long, long, long way with closing this painful past that's behind you now. Now it's time to celebrate you, because you're getting ready to walk into a new time of magic, right? Where love is going to flow through you easy in everything that you do, okay? All right, I'm sending you so much love and light. Take care.